surprise results over in the Nations League as England upset the odds and beat Belgium, and Scotland make it 7 games unbeaten. What's that all about? We'll talk about it next. Matchday number 4, part 2 in the Nations League, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to get you bang up to date with all things Nations League related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We've got it all here under one Ruski. That's right, boys and girls. Of course, England upset the odds with a couple of late goals there. Well, not really late goals, one late goal to turn it on its head, really. Turn Group A, Part B on its head and take a bit of a control of that situation. We'll take a close look at that in a minute. But before that one, big shout out, of course, to the Patreon gang, supporting the channel behind the scenes. I do appreciate the support. It's a much needed resource for the continuation of the channel, so I do appreciate it. If anyone else is out there that wants to join the exclusive VIP gang, there is a link down below, patreon.com/Rosies. Make sure to check that bad boy out. But until then, let's get into the deep and have a look at how we all got on, because we've got a lot to talk about here, of course, in the last round of matches. So let's get into it then. Here we go. We do have a live action prediction league, boys, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. But before then, this is the criteria. 0 to 6, you're in the shit-face club. 7 to 14, you're in the straight-face gang. And 15 plus, there's none of those, so don't get excited. You're in the top bins. Here we go. Kazakhstan up against Albania. That's the first crunch clash coming at you. If I can find the stinking results on this one. Kazakhstan up against Armenia. Where are we? It was a 0-0 draw, wasn't it? Exciting thriller there. I actually remember the 1-1 draw myself. Not too bad for me. Not too bad on that one. Ireland against Wales. That also was a 0-0 draw. Drab one. That one. Nothing to get excited about there. Probably Wales would be the happier out of the two sides. I think Ireland have yet to get going in the Old Nations League. Armenia against Georgia. Another draw. 2-2. Meanwhile, sorry, go back to the Ireland one. I actually remember the 2-1 win for Wales. I also remember the 2-0 win for Armenia. But 2-2 draw in the end. 3 draws on the spin. Let's take a closer look at that one then, shall we? Who was it then? Armenia up against Georgia. Where the bloody hell is that? There they are. Korean Baryamaman on the score sheet for Armenia. Herek Mkhitaryan, of course, the Armenians, Messi there, scoring the late equaliser with Nikita Kachireva and Toriak Ashkeravili on the score sheet for Georgia. Easy for you to say. Meanwhile, Bosnia-Herzegovina against Netherlands. Guess what that was? It was a draw. Yes, 0-0 in the end. Actually, I remember the 2-0 win for Bosnia. 2-minute draws for mine. Meanwhile, Croatia, though, they know what it's all about. 2-1 win over Sweden to give themselves a monstrous win there. The goal scorers on that day, I'll tell you, were Nikola Vlasic on score sheet for Croatia and Andrija Kerimic as well. Marcus Berg won a goal score for Sweden, and that is over in Nations League A Group 3. Meanwhile, over, we all talked about it briefly, League A Group B 2. It was England against Belgium. 2-1 win. Goodness gracious me. Yes, that's right. Romelu Lukaku scoring for Belgium before Marcus Rashford equalising on that. Both thirds were penalties. Mason Mount with a 64th minute winner. Deflected winner. Should I say. Rovers player was involved in this. Did I tell you that? Rovers player? Yeah. Yeah, the Rovers number 1. Yeah, Kaminsky. Yeah, was he playing? No, he was on the bench though. And if he was playing, it would have been a win for Belgium. They would have won that one. So next down, Martinez, make sure you stick Kaminsky in there. Estonia taking on North Macedonia. What happened in that? Bobby does that. Of course, it was a draw, wasn't it? Another one, 3-3 in the end. Goal scores on that day. Ronil Shampinian, a couple of goals there for Estonia. Frank Leviec as well. Meanwhile, North Macedonia's goals coming from Makia Kushk with a big fat OG, Koren Pandev, and Gujigo with Senchikov for Macedonia. Actually, I had a 2-1 win myself on that one. Finland against Bulgaria. That ended up as a 2-0 win for Finland. No Pookie goals today. You had to rely on other fellas. Robert Taylor, fine Finnish name, that one. Robert Taylor. Frederick had Jensen on the score sheet as well to give Finland the boost. Actually, I remember the 2-1 win myself for Finland. Not too bad. Lithuania against Belarus. Guess what that was? It was a bloody another draw, wasn't it? So many draws. Draws galore on this one. The goal scorers on this one was Andris Nukrevikinis and Kuris Lukramikinis for Lithuania, with Vliskevic and Angela Shevchenko on score sheet for Belarus. So 2-2 in the end. Norway smashed Romania. Was it 4-0? That's right, actually with a 2-1 win myself. I think, what's his name? Haaland got himself a hat-trick on this one. Alexander Soroff as well. Shame on them though. They didn't get qualification for the old Euros. That's a shame. It's a shameful European football to not see Haaland and the golden generation, I think, of Norway. They perform like this here here. They performed stupidly or pathetically in the Euro playoff game. But anyway, each to their own. France against Portugal. Guess what that was? That was also a draw. 0-0 in the end. Actually, remember the 3-1 win for France on that one. Greece, though, they know where it's all about. 2-0 winners over Moldova. That is over in, what group is that bad boy? That's down in Group Nations League C, Group 3. Goal scorers Antonius Bassiadakis and Petros Manolos on the score sheet for Greece, with Francis Poshmak getting himself sent off. Call this one bang on the schnoz, boys. Bang on the schnoz. Meanwhile, Iceland against Denmark. That also ended up as a 3-0 win for Denmark. That's over in Nations League A, Group. It's England's group, isn't it? Group B, 2, whatever it is. Rumar Mark Sigurdsson with a big fat OG, Christian Eriksen and Robert Skoff on score sheet for Denmark in the Scandinavian derby up there. Israel against Czech Republic ended up as a 2-1 win for the Czechs. Called it, boys. Absolutely bang on the nose. This was out in Scotland's group, which is Nations League B, Group 2. Joe Abdu Hanna on the score sheet for the Czech Republic. Big fat OG, Mate Vidra as well, with Erlian Shedavaji, the one and only goal for Israel. Meanwhile, Kosovo against Slovenia. Different group, that one. 1-0 win for Slovenia. Shame on me. Actually, remember a 2-0 win for Kosovo. Haris Vidovic, former Newcastle man there, on the score sheet for Slovenia on the 22nd minute. Meanwhile, Northern Ireland against Austria. That also another a decent win for Austria. Again, Northern Ireland went over the line, made it to the final of the Euros, but failed to deliver here in the Nations League. The goal scorer on this one, I'm trying to get it to you, Michael Gregorich, the one who goal scorer for Austria. Meanwhile, Poland against Italy, guess what that was? That was a draw as well. 0-0 in the end, actually, with a 2-2 draw myself. So I pretty much called it, did I? Russia against Turkey, guess what that was? That was a draw as well. No one wants to win games anymore. What's that all about? Anton Mariachik on the score sheet for Russia. Kirin Karim Aramam for Turkey in a 1-1 draw. Actually, went with the 2-1 win myself on that one. Scotland against Slovakia, that was no draw. It was a 1-0 win. I think it was Lyndon Dykes on the score sheet. Yes, they might have got a goal scorer on their books there. Lyndon Dykes, of course, QPR's man these days, now scoring the goals for Scotland as well. And Serbia against Hungary. Called it, boys. Actually called it. So bang on the nose. Bang on the nose. Serbia against Hungary. That was a 1-0 win for Hungary. And that is out in Nations League B, Group 3. And that was Norbert Kunives on that one. Actually, with the 0-0 draw. So I've got myself 1, 2, 3, 4 on this page. Let me have a look on this one. 4 on this page. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got myself 9er. 9er, which was okay. Just remember that number 9, folks. 9. How about you guys, though? What did you guys get on to? Mikko Milaganovic, you did all right, sir. Not too bad. Jan did bits. Victor Carvalho, not too shabby. Antish Solonen, not too shabby. Costas K did bits. Luka Kajidovic, he did bits. Oh, well done to you, sir. Of course, Patreon gave us an extra bit of love, but you did all right. Jonathan Liu did bits. Neil Galilei did poop. Meanwhile, Fernando Garamundi did all right. Sigurdsson, not too shabby. Oh, Mask of you. Well done to you, sir. You did all right. Master Fighter did bits. Shaded on, not too shabby. Kyle17 did a bit poop. We Are QPR did all right. Matt Gunner, not too shabby. A Judy did shite. Yannick Buster did okay. Watch Design did poop. Garako did poop. LG and Cow, well done to you, sir. Not too shabby there. Declan also did all right. Bianca Muller, not too shabby. You should get a round of applause. Bossy Matter, you did okay. Gaming Charlie, not too bad. Slam and Self did bits. Geraldo Djekicic, you split. Even with your split, you did shite. Nathan Eva, though, not too bad, though. Well done to you, brother. Well done to you. Hans Wurst, he did all right. Robert Hollis did poop. More Football Mapper did gash. He did all right, actually. Craig Deselli, he did gash. Hawaii Santos poop. He did shite as well. And this is your leaderboard for this week alone. Well, this match day alone. Here it comes at you. Here it comes. And it comes like this. Jonathan Liu, Ultra Oman, you're your prediction kings. 4-part 8 out in their Nations League. Look at that. They got themselves 13 out of whatever the score was there. But that is just for this week and this week alone. This is your current leaderboard as it stands over in the Nations League. Your leader, give him some respect. It is Ultra Oman Mura. Well done to you, sir. Put it on a display there. 57% success rate. Costas K not too far behind. Jonathan Liu's up there, though. 54%. Bianca Muller's up there as well. Well done to you. And Bosnia-Herzegovina makes up the Power 5. He's just under 50%. And the rest of the chasing back. You need to up your game, Bows. You need to up your game. You've got a couple of match days, especially if you can get into them now. You got a couple of match days to get into it. So let's get, of course, into the deep end. Take a look at the next round of matches then, shall we? Okay, then, let's get into the next round of matches. Of course, this is match number 4, part 2, and we're going to jump into the deep end. And, of course, with the big one of the big ones anyway, Netherlands going to Italy, of course. The return leg here out in Italy, of course. And these two sides have played each other. How many times? Well, I'll tell you how many times. They played an impressive, of course, it's a juggernaut nation. It's 22 times in the past, 10 wins for the Netherlands. Sorry, 10 wins for Italy, 3 wins for the Netherlands, and just 9 draws between these two sides, of course. The previous 6 go 3 wins for Italy, nothing for the Netherlands, and 3 draws. Last time the pleasure, of course, was in the Nations League. Back in September, was a 1-0 win for Italy. The one goal scorer on that day was Nicolo Barriella on the score sheet on the 45th minute. Meanwhile, last time the pleasure that in Italy was a 1-1 draw at the friendly back in 2018. Simon Zaza, Nathan Ake on the score sheet for the Dutch. Domenico Castigo getting himself sent off on that occasion. Meanwhile, the bookies odds heading into this. What do we have on this? I'll tell you if I can just have a little look. 6-5 for the Italy, 21-10 for the Dutch. 23-10 is your long shot, of course, on this one. Of course, as it stands, Italy's to lose. They do lead by just 1 point over the Dutch, but this could all change going into this one. I'm not a big fan of the new appointment for the Dutchies. I thought they could have done it much better instead of bringing in, what's his name? Is it Frank de Boer? Swinging towards the Italians on this one with a 2-1 win in the end. Meanwhile, of course, same group, Poland up against Bosnia-Herzegovina. These two sides locking horns this time. Now this will be it's just the 5th time that these two sides play. The previous 4, 3 wins for Poland, nothing for Bosnia, and 1 draw. Of course, heading into this, they have played each other quite recently. Back in September, it was a 2-1 win for Poland in Bosnia. Meanwhile, last time played each other in Poland was a 1-0 win back in 2011. Waldemar Sudbata on the score sheet for Poland. That was all the way back in December 2011. But of course, that first leg or the earlier fixture, it was a 2-1 win for Poland. Keremiel Glik on the score sheet. Kamil Garzicki as well on the score sheet for Poland. Haris Hadjanovic on the score sheet for Bosnia-Herzegovina. Heading into this, nothing really to get excited about for Bosnia. They have not yet picked up a win, but picked up 2 draws and a defeat. Meanwhile, Poland are in this discussion, picking up 1 win and a draw so far, and they currently sit joint second alongside the Dutch in League A Group 1, and of course a win for Poland and something different or something weird in the Netherlands game. They could go top of the pops here on this one. Tough one to call this one, but I'm going to lean towards Lewandowski and co. I'm going with a 2-0 win for Poland to take it to the house. Again, could make it a little bit lively group as we head into the last couple of games in the month of November. So it's going to be exciting as that comes to a close. Moving on, mixed up, of course, we have England. They're taking on Denmark, of course, that these two sides have played each other 20 times in the past. 12 wins for England, 3 wins for Denmark, and just 5 draws between these two. But the last 6, these 3 wins for England, 2 wins for Denmark, and 1 draw. Last time they played each other was that draw. It was a 0-0 draw back in September. Denmark with a happy end, and it was a very stagnant display by England. But however, last time picture that in England was back in 2014. It was a 1-0 win for England. Daniel Sturridge on the score sheet on this one. So far, so good for England. They might not beat winning the plaudits at home, but unbeaten. 2 wins and a draw so far. Meanwhile, Denmark not too shabby either. Just 1 defeat, picking up a win and a draw so far in their campaign. Bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? I'm sure it's probably going to go in favour of England. 20-13 on for England. They are the favourites. 3-1 is your draw. 18-5 is your away win. Of course, this is Denmark. Denmark, if they are to be victorious, they could leapfrog England in the process, depending on what goes on goals-wise on this one. I'm going to go with England on this as well. 3-0 win comfortably. Again, maybe just a little bit of a boost in their performance from the win against Belgium, and maybe a change of personnel as well. Meanwhile, of course, Iceland taking on Belgium in the other game in the same group. Of course, these two sides played each other 12 times in the past. It's been 12 wins out of 12 for Belgium heading into this. The previous 6, though, the previous 4, seen 4 out of 4. Of course, for Belgium, last time played each other was in Belgium and was, of course, in the Nations League in September. 5-1 win. Axel Witsel on the score sheet. Michi Bishuai with a couple of goals. Dries Mertens and Jeremy Doku, the youngster coming through there for Belgium. 5-1 win. It's Iceland's goal coming from Hobart Figerson on the 10th minute. They actually took the lead on that one before they fell to bits. Meanwhile, last time played, they're in Iceland was a 3-0 win for Belgium. Romelu Lukaku and Eden Hazard on the score sheet. Again, none of those 2 goal scorers actually scored in the game last time around. Meanwhile, a terrible start so far out in the Nations League for Iceland. Maybe batting above their weight out in the Nations League A. 3 defeats out of 3. Of course, Belgium 2 wins and a defeat so far to the name. The bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? I'm sure it's going to be stone cold favourites for Belgium, of course, despite their defeat. Of course, they were a little bit unlucky with the defeat against England. 70-2, in fact, the odds for Iceland. 4-1 is your draw. 7-2 on for Belgium on this. I'm going to go with Belgium as well on this to take it to the bank. What have we got? 3-0 win. Another one to add to the coffers. Meanwhile, Croatia taking on France this coming match day as well. Another tasty one, another repeat of the World Cup final. Of course, these two sides played each other 7 times in the past. The previous 6, of course, 4 wins for France, 2 draws, and nothing for Croatia. Of course, the last time they played each other was in the Nations League, and it was in fact a repeat scoreline of the World Cup. It was a 4-2 win for France. Griezmann, Deo Epagimacano, Oliver Giroud, and Dominik Likavinovic with a big fat OG, Dijan Lovren and Josip Brachialio on score sheet for Croatia. And again, a repeat of that World Cup final. So far, so good for France. 2 wins and a draw so far. The only draw was against Portugal last time around. Meanwhile, Croatia only got the one up and running with a win last time around against Sweden. And of course, successive defeats as well. Bookies odds will probably make it another win for France. 3 wins on the spin against Croatia. 23-10 is the odds for Croatia. 23-10 is also the draw. 23-20. France are your favourites for the win on this one. So I'm probably sticking with France on this as well. What have we got? We've got a 1-1 draw, that's right. Going with a draw, which will stop the rot there for Croatia and maybe get themselves moving in the right direction. Next up, same group, of course. Portugal taking on Sweden. A quick look at the odds on this one. Do we have odds at hand? Do we? Yes, we do. 2-1 on Portugal are your favourites. 3-1 is your draw, and 5-1 is your long shots. This will be the 20th time that these two sides played the previous 19. 6 wins for Portugal, 7 wins for Sweden, and 6 draws as well. The bookies, the last 6, these 3 wins for Portugal, 1 win for Sweden, and 2 draws. Last time picture was in Sweden in the Nations League. It was a 2-0 win for Portugal. Ronaldo with a couple of goals, and Gustav Svensson getting himself sent off. Meanwhile, the last time picture was in Portugal was a 3-2 win for Sweden. It was a friendly back in 2017. Ronaldo again on the score sheet. Grankvist with a big fat OG, with Victor Klassen's brace and a Joe Cansalio big fat OG, of course, on this one. Heading into this, Sweden so far terrible in the group. 3 defeats on the spin. Meanwhile, Portugal looking good. 2 wins and a draw so far. To be sitting alongside France, in fact, on top of France at the moment, on goal difference out in Ligue A Group 3, leading the charge. But will they get another big fat W on their record? I do believe so. Taking on Sweden this coming match day, going with another win, with a 3-1 win for Portugal to take it to the bank. Next up, we do have Norway. They're going to be taking on Northern Ireland, of course. They did lock horns not too long ago in a bit of a spanking. This will be the 11th time that these two sides played the previous 10. 8 wins for Norway, 2 wins for Northern Ireland, and no draws, of course. Heading into this, the last 6, been 5 wins at the past 6 for Norway. Their last defeat against Northern Ireland was all the way back in 2017 in Northern Ireland, but this game will be in Norway. And the last time they played in Norway was a 1-0 win back in 2017 in World Cup qualifying campaign. Chris Brandt with a big fat OG. 2 wins out of 3 for Norway. Of course, they slipped up against Austria and not really getting anything exciting going on for Northern Ireland thus far out in their respective group. That group, of course, being Group B, League B, Group 1. Austria leading the charge so far, 6 points out of a possible 9. Norway not too far away. In fact, second, level on points as well. Romania and Northern Ireland got it all to do in the final 3 games of this group. Bookies odds, what do we have on this one then, shall we? It's 2-1 on for Norway, 3-1 is your, 5-1 is your long shot. I'm backing the explosiveness of Haaland and co, and I do expect them to win this one. Another 3-0 win. In fact, not as impressive as the match against Northern Ireland in Northern Ireland, but it's still impressive enough for the big victory. Next up, of course, Romania against Austria. A win here for Romania opens up the door for the likes of Northern Ireland and maybe even Romania to upset the odds on this one. This will be the 10th time that these two sides have played. 2 wins apiece and 5 draws in the last 9 games, or the only 9 games between the two sides. The last 4, though, sees 1 win apiece and 2 draws. The last time they played was, of course, in the Nations League. It was a 3-2 win for Romania in Austria. Baumgartner and Asuniwanu on score sheet for Austria, with Denis Alibic, Dragos Grigori, and Alexandru Maxim on the score sheet, of course, last time around, with Romania celebrating the big fat W. Last time they played, that was in Austria in the Nations League, which is a little bit, yeah, that's fine. The last time they played in Romania was a 1-1 draw back in 2009, of course, with Drigo Bukur on the score sheet for Romania, Franz Schirmer on the score sheet as well. So far, so good for Austria. 2 wins and a defeat so far. Austria not too far, Romania not too far away with a win and a draw and a defeat. A bit of the collector's set there heading into this, of course. The bookies odds on this one, what do we have? On the bookies odds, we do have coming at you live with the odds any second now. What do we have on the odds on? I don't think we have the odds on these ones. Yes, we do. 29-10 is Romania for the victory. 23-10 is your draw. 20-19 on Austria are your red hot favourites on this one. I don't think it's that stone cold. I think it could go either way on this one. I've actually gone with Romania with the 2-1 win to make it a very, very interesting group here. Meanwhile, Scotland taking on the Czech Republic. And again, it looks like the Czech Republic are going to kind of field a B team on this one. It'll be the 9th time that these two sides have played. 4 wins for the Czechs, 3 wins for the Scots, and 1 draw. This game will be over in Scotland, of course. The last 6 sees 3 wins for Scotland, 2 wins for Czechs, and 1 draw. Last time played, there was a 2-1 win for Scotland, of course. Again, a bit of a weird makeshift lineup for the Czechs. Lyndon Dykes on the score sheet again. Ryan Christie also on the score sheet to give Scotland the 3 points. Czechs goal come from Jacek Pesic on this one. Last time played in Scotland was a 2-2 draw European Championship qualifier back in 2011. Kenny Miller and Darren Fletcher on the score sheet for Scotland. Jadishev Plasel and Mikhail Kaldelic on the score sheet for the Czechs on this one. So far, pretty good for Scotland, actually sitting top of the pops, yet to taste defeat. Meanwhile, the Czechs are hot on their heels, though. One defeat out of their first 3 games heading into this. Bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? Negatory on the odds. I'm sure Scotland are the edgy favourites on this one because of Czechs' desire or willing to just play a shitty team. So I'm going to go with Scotland on this one. Again, not impressive, but just enough to get over the line with a 1-0 win over the Czechs to make it 10 points out of a possible 12. Meanwhile, same group, Slovakia will be taking on Israel. Of course, trying to get themselves moving in the right direction. It'll be the 6th time that these two sides played. The previous 5, 3 wins for Slovakia, nothing for Israel, and 2 draws, of course. The last time that they played each other, of course, in the Nations League was a 1-1 draw back in September in Israel. Ikemini Kaniz on the score sheet for Israel, Mikhail Duris on the score sheet for Slovakia as well. Heading into this, not too great for either of the 2 nations in the Nations League B. 2 draws and defeat for Slovakia so far. Meanwhile, Israel just the 1 draw as they head into this. We might have odds on this one. I'll have a closer look at it, shall we? Slovakia against Israel, and yeah, it's 5-4 on for Slovakia. 11-5 is your draw. 21-10 is your long shots. That is Israel. I'm probably going to stick with Slovakia, if not a draw. I can't really remember what I've gone with. I've gone with a draw. That's right. That's a big bunch of matches there. It's not really going to do much favour for either of those 2 nations, but we'll get on with it anyway. Next up, Russia taking on Hungary. Again, this is on the Wednesday, the 14th of October. They played each other 8 times. 5 wins for Russia, 2 wins for Hungary, and 1 draw. The last 6, though, or the last 4, should I say, 3 wins for Russia, 1 draw, and nothing for Hungary. Last time played was, of course, in Hungary in the Nations League. It was a 3-2 win for Russia. Mariachik, Ozgodov, and Fernandez on the score sheet for Russia. Roland Salazar, Nemanja Nikolic on the score sheet for Hungary. Last time they played each other in Russia. Do we have anything on that? No, I don't. Can't remember the last time they played each other in Russia. But so far, overall on this bad boy, Russia looking good, unbeaten so far, 2 wins and a draw. Meanwhile, Hungary, what have they got going on? They've got 2 wins and a draw, 2 wins and a defeat so far. Very, very close, of course, between these 2 nations. Russia lead the charge over in League B, Group 3. Hungary hot on the heels, just 1 point adrift. Do we have any bookies odds on this one? We do. 20-13 on Russia are your favourites. 14-5 is your 4-1 is your long shots. That is Hungary on this one. I'm going to go with Russia on this. 2-0 to the house. Next up, Turkey taking on Serbia. Of course, this will be how many times have these 2 sides played? They played each other just the 1 time. Of course, it was a draw, and it was in the Nations League. That match was back in September. 0-0, no goals scored, of course. So far, no one's getting excited out of these 2 nations. Back-to-back draws for Turkey. Can they make it a win at least next time around? Take it on to Serbia, who have also just picked up the 1 draw, and that 1 draw was against Turkey. Of course, not looking good out in the group. The bookies odds 29-20 in favour of Turkey. 23-10 is your draw. 9-5 is your long shots on this one. Turkey, if they have fans in the stands, it would be a nailed-on home win. I'm still going to give it to the benefit of the doubt for them with a 1-0 win over the Serbians. Meanwhile, Finland taking on Ireland. Of course, Ireland really struggling so far. Played each other 4 times. 2 wins for Ireland, 1 win for Finland, and 1 draw. Of course, the last time they played each other was over in Ireland. It was a 1-0 win for Finland. That's right. Frederick Jensen on score sheet back in September. Last time they played each other in Finland was a 3-0 win for Ireland. Robbie Keane, David Healy, and Barrett on score sheet. It was all the way back in 2002. Of course, Ireland yet to get going. 2 draws and a defeat so far in the first 3 games in the Nations League. It's back-to-back wins for Finland. They're looking to. It's actually they've only conceded 1 goal so far, and that was against Wales in the first match day on this. Bookies odds. Ireland yet to taste defeat. Yet to taste victory on this one. They are 29-20. Finland are probably your favourites. 21-10. Ireland are your underdogs. 15-8 is your long shots on this one. Ireland, of course, with that hoodoo hanging over their heads. Will they get the win? Not for me. I'm going with a 2-1 win for Finland. In the end, next up, Bulgaria taking on Wales, of course. This will be the 10th time that each side plays. 4 wins apiece and 1 draw over the previous 9. Heading into this, the last 5 sees 3 wins for Wales, 1 win for Bulgaria, and 1 draw. Last time played each other, of course, in the Nations League just in September. 1-0 win for Wales. Neco Williams on the score sheet to give them the 3 points. Last time they played each other in Bulgaria was all the way back in 2011. 1-0 win for Wales. Gareth Bale on the score sheet. He doesn't think he's going to be involved in this one. So far, unbeaten for Wales in the All Nations League. Yet to get going for Bulgaria. Back-to-back defeats, of course, heading into this. Bookies odds on this one, 40-5 for Bulgaria, 11-10 for Wales. Favourites, 2-1 is your draw on this one, and that's where I think I'm going on this one. I'm going to go with Wales. 2-0 win to make it 10 points over a possible 12, and looking good to top this group in the end. Estonia, no, not them. We're going to take on, who have we got next? North Macedonia taking on Georgia, taking on for the second time in history. Of course, the first and only time that these two sides played was a draw, of course, 1-1 way back in September in Georgia. Of course, it'll be the first time we play each other in Macedonia. So far, so good for Macedonia. Unbeaten, it looks like, 1 win and 2 draws. Meanwhile, Georgia also similar record. In fact, 2 draws and a win as well. So, of course, both of these two sides competing to keep up the heat over in League C Group 2. The winner will take command of this group. Quick look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? Do we have anything? I don't think we have odds on this one. I can't see it. North Macedonia against Georgia. No. So it's tight. I don't know which way to go on this one. I've probably gone with a draw, I think. Maybe I've gone for Macedonia. I think I've gone with Macedonia win. 2-1 win to take it to the bank. Of course, next up we have Estonia against Armenia. The big one we've all been waiting for, of course. The 7th time that these two sides have played. 2 wins apiece and 2 draws in the previous 6 games, of course. Last time I played each other was in Armenia. It was a 2-0 win for Armenia with Kapitan and Angulo on the score sheet for Armenia. Last time I played each other in Estonia was a 1-0 win for Estonia back in 2009 World Cup qualifying campaign as well. So far, okay for Armenia, 1 win and a draw at the first 3 games. Meanwhile, Estonia yet to get going, just 1 draw for them at the first 3 games as well. Quick look at the odds on this one. We may have odds on this. Just in case you're curious, it's 90-10 for Estonia, 11-5 is your draw, 30-10 is your away win on this one. Fancying Armenia myself, fancy a bit of an Armenian. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Armenia. Next, of course, we have Greece against Kosovo. I did fancy Kosovo at the start of this, but they've just not been there. They've only played each other once. Of course, it's been a 2-1 win for Greece the last time they played each other. Of course, out in the Nations League as well. That was back in September. Of course, heading into this, Kosovo back-to-back defeats for them. Their only bright spark was a 1-1 draw against Moldova. So far so good for Greece. 2 wins and a draw so far, and this group, they are too good for this group. 5-2 on for Greece. 31-10 is your draw. 11-2 is your long shot. That is Kosovo. I would have backed Kosovo a month ago, but today it's all Greece, baby. All Greece. 3-1 in the end. Moldova taking on... Who are they taking on? Slovenia, of course. The past 3 matches between these two sides have been 3 wins apiece for Slovenia over Moldova. Of course, last time I played that was in Slovenia. It was back in, of course, September in the Nations League. 1-0 win. Dejan Boja on the score sheet for Slovenia. Last time I played in Moldova was back in 2005 World Cup qualifying campaign. Slovenia, of course, so victorious. 2-1 winners. Kleven Laric and Matiš Marovic on the score sheet for Slovenia, with Sergej Ragovovic for Moldova on this one. Heading into this, so far so good for Slovenia. 7 points out of a possible 10. Meanwhile, terrible start for Moldova so far. Just 1 draw out of the past 3, of course. And a quick scan, see if we have odds. We do have odds. 80-5 for Moldova, 6-4 on for Slovenia. 30-5 is your draw, of course. Gonna go with it. Going with the bookies. Oh, I'm not. I've gone up. What have I done here? I've gone with a 1-0 win for Moldova. But no, I'm going to roll with it. 1-0 win for Moldova to take it. To surprise us all. I'm calling it. Lithuania against Albania, taking on each other for the 6th time. The previous 5, 3 wins for Lithuania, 2 wins for Albania. Heading into this, the last time played each other, of course, was in Albania, was in the Nations League. It was a 1-0 win for Lithuania. However, the last time played each other in Lithuania is a mystery. I don't know. In fact, last time played each other in Lithuania was back in, goodness gracious me, 1992-1993 season World Cup qualifying campaign. It was a 3-1 win for Lithuania. Get that down out your notes. Of course, heading into this, similar sort of scorelines for both of these two sides. 4 points out of a possible 9, a win and a draw to boot. Of course, back to the previous game for Albania was a draw. Same could be said for Lithuania, was a draw against Belarus. Bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? Lithuania against Albania. We do have odds 5-2 for Lithuania, 11-5 as usual. Even Stevens for Albania, of course. I do fancy Albania usually on most given football games. And I'm going to go with another one here. 2-0 win for Albania to take it to the bank. And wrapping it up, of course, everyone's favourite. It is Belarus taking on Kazakhstan. This will be the just the 5th time that these two sides have played. The previous 4. 3 wins for Belarus, nothing for Kazakhstan, and 1 draw. Of course, last time played each other was in the Nations League. It was a 2-1 for Belarus in Kazakhstan. Meanwhile, last time played each other in Belarus was a 1-1 draw back in 2011. It was a friendly with Gleb on the score sheet and Sergei Ostapenko. Again, in different, similar sort of points tally for these two sides. 4 points out of possible 9. Of course, Belarus picking up a win against Kazakhstan, a draw against Lithuania. Meanwhile, Kazakhstan picking up a win against Lithuania and a draw against Albania, of course. And a quick look at the odds on this one to wrap this up in a dicky bow. We do have odds, do we? Do we have odds? No, we do. Yes, we do. 2017 on for Belarus. Red hot favourites 23-10 is your 3-1 as your long shots on this one. Who have you got down for this? I am going to go with a 1-1 draw. I can't separate the two sides, can you? Make sure you get your predictions in, of course, nice and early for this bad boy. And we'll do it all again, of course, back in November. That's it, my friends. Be sure to give the video some love in. Smash the thumbs up, of course. Smash the subscribe if you are new. New videos every single day on the channel, whether it is the Nations League or other predictions across the world of football. Also, be sure to check out the descriptions. Links to my other social media platforms are in there. Twitter, Facebook, and, of course, Patreon if you want to support the channel in another way. That's the place to be. Until then, though, I'll see you all next time around.